Hello everyone, I'm Carly, and who knew that being clumsy could be such a big personality trait?
And I'm Sam, and I could definitely not outrun Edward or fight him off.
And I'm Karissa, and I do not like mushroom ravioli.
And I'm Allie, and I do like mushroom ravioli.
And welcome to Read Receipts with Carly and Sam, our book-based podcast covering all the latest hits and some stories off the beaten path.
With a few fun and exclusive episodes mixed in between. And a few new guests, too. Welcome to our first podcast collaboration.
Today we are potting with local Twilight experts Allie and Karissa from Exploring the Meadow to cover the young adult cult classic Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Welcome, Allie and Karissa!
Yay! We're so excited to be here.
Thank you for having us.
We actually probably should start off with if you guys want to plug more about your podcast, what you guys talk about, and where we can find you.
Sure. So you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as on Instagram at exploringthemeadow.pod. Our podcast covers everything Twilight, as well as its cultural, historical, and religious influences.
It's hard to share a spoiler warning for a book this big, but just to cover all our bases, this is your reminder that because this is a book-based podcast, we'll be covering summaries, characters, deep dives, theories, and social significance, kind of like what Karissa was saying about what they cover on their podcast. So we highly suggest giving the book a read, giving the movie a watch. If you somehow have found yourself in a similar position to Carly, who has managed to not read the book for the last 20 years, make sure to go ahead and do that before listening to the rest of this podcast episode. You have been warned. We're so excited to have Allie and Karissa here to talk about all things Twilight. I think we've dropped hints in some of our previous episodes that we have been looking forward to, I guess, reading Twilight and kind of, at least from my perspective, getting Carly's perspective as someone who has spent the last 20 years kind of not being invested in that fandom. I think we've dropped hints about this collaboration, or at the very least reading Twilight and covering it on the podcast. So I'm pretty excited to finally be here covering Twilight.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I've been looking back at old episodes, and it's funny how many times we talk about Twilight in the most random of places. So it's truly like we've been prepping for this for a really long time. But yeah, I would say that this was a pretty pleasant experience for someone who's an adult and maybe felt like this wasn't necessarily a book for me. I had a really good time. To some degree, I understand the hype.
So we do have Allie and Karissa here from Exploring the Meadow podcast, and like they were saying, they cover a lot more of like the deeper dives into Twilight. But Carly, real quick, can you give us your 1 minute, this is what I remember from when I read the book, and this is what I thought of my first time reading it as an adult?
Yes. Wait, hold on. Let me look at the time. We're waiting for...
And go.
So my experience with the book is that I never read it until last month. And honestly, I did like it to a certain amount. I was pretty invested in the story. Maybe not so much the characters, but the writing was really good. It did keep me on my toes and kept me invested. But I will say that maybe the romance aspect I was a little less in on, and I just wanted Bella to not pursue the things that she was pursuing. I enjoyed Bella and I wanted what was best for her, and I did not see what was happening as what was best for her. Why is everything so low-key religious, and why is everything so intense, and why is following people cool? These are the things that I asked myself. Why are we in Forks to begin with? These are some of the things, that I thought to myself as I read the book. So that's close enough.
All right, perfect. Time. Okay, I'm calling it here because we do have a lot of Twilight content to get through. But if you want more on Carly's thoughts on the book, as well as some of my, Allie and Karissa's thoughts on the book, as people who read it pretty close to when it came out and kind of when it rose to fame and all of that, then you'll have to head on over to their podcast and listen to our collaboration episode with them over there.
To get to the meat of what we were going to do today, since we have guests here with us, we thought it'd be fun to do a most likely to between all of us podcasters and the Twilight characters. So we've taken some of Twilight's personality traits and created some superlatives to hand out right here. We'll each take turns pulling a superlative from the bowl and awarding them to the podcaster we see fit. This is our bowl of superlatives. Each superlative is meant to like represent a different character.
I think this will be such a fun way for us to kind of introduce you guys a little bit more so that our audience can learn a little bit more about you.
I'm really excited to play this game. I think this is always a really, really fun activity.
I'm terrified because I have known Carly for years, but not on a super deep level, and I just met Sam a few weeks ago.
Yeah. To give a little background as to how this collab happened, Allie and I went to high school together, but yeah, it was always a little bit distant because she was friends with my sister, so we didn't really get to know each other really until a few years ago even. And then, yeah, this was more so like, hey, they also have a podcast about books.
Yes.
So that's how we ended up here. But I think it'll be fun. I think all of us are going to for sure be able to take away a superlative. We're all going to be winners.
Yes, yeah. And we did do some like funny ones too.
Nice.
So yeah, this will be pretty exciting. I'm kind of excited
Yeah.
to get into this. Do you all want to start?
Sure. Do we just pull one from the bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just pull one from the bowl and we'll see what we get.
And I give it to someone, right?
Yes.
Yes. We can also discuss if we think somebody deserves it more, or deserves it, I guess. if
We
it
can
fits
collab.
the role, yeah.
Well, should I read this out loud?
Yes.
Okay. Who is most likely to try switching classes to avoid another person? I am really interested to know what you think, Carly.
You were giving this to me?
Yeah.
That's funny because I was going to say Allie maybe, but I mean, to be honest though,
Do you feel like this is accurate? Would you?
maybe. I would say it's certainly not impossible for me.
She said it might be you, Allie.
Yeah, I can agree that it could also be me.
I think Allie and I can have strong feelings about people, and that's where I was thinking of.
Do you want to pull one out, Allie?
Sure. Who is most likely to skip school to go backpacking?
Ooh.
Does anyone here like to go backpacking?
Or like, who of us would go backpacking?
And who would also be likely to skip school?
Not me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was too scared to.
Yeah, I think I was, like, back when I was in school, I think I was too much of a goody-goody. I feel like maybe now I might,
Yeah.
but as a kid, there was no way.
I am a little bit too studious and academic. I really like school, so
Yeah, I don't know, like backpacking does sound fun, but like in college I literally skipped one class and it was yoga.
What?
So, yeah.
I maybe might have in college.
Okay.
I think I might have in college.
Yeah, I guess in college, that's a little different though, because you have
Yeah.
more free will.
That's true. Yeah, I think I might have in college. And I do like being outdoors.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
know
gonna
that I would
say-
go backpacking, though.
But I don't know, I feel like you've camped a lot more than me.
That's fair.
So that's something.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, based on this discussion, it belongs to Sam. Are we
I'll
also
take it.
supposed to be saying what Twilight character did this, or is that later?
Oh, yeah, I guess we didn't talk about who these were inspired
Oh,
by.
yes. Which one was this one inspired by, Sam?
Well, Edward, trying to switch out of...
Oh, I meant,
yes.
but which one is the backpacking meant to represent?
How Edward and Emmett skip class.
Okay,
to go
gotcha.
backpacking. Okay, Carly, do you want to pick one out?
Yes, I'll pick one out. Who is most likely to fall down 2 flights of stairs and through a window?
that is Allie.
I am very clumsy.
Yeah, I'll give it to you, Allie.
Okay, that is actually very fair.
It is kind of wild that this is the story that they come up with in Twilight to tell, like, Bella's mom, like, oh, this is what happened, this is why Bella's in the hospital, and her mom doesn't even question it. Like, yeah, Bella totally would fall down 2 flights of stairs and through a window.
That's a really good point. I never thought about the fact that no one has any questions ever at all about it.
Yeah, I mean, her clumsiness is really like a literal plot device, it feels like. Like, more than a normal person, it's like, yeah, I might tend to fall a lot. It's like, she thinks to herself, like, I cannot run because if I do, I will fall. Like,
Right.
factually.
She refers to it so much throughout the book where, you know, oh, she can't do this because she's clumsy. She can't do that because she'll trip over her own feet. Like, she can't ever dance. She
Yes.
can't, like...
Yes. Yeah.
It really holds her back.
Yeah, and I feel like I think it's in Midnight Sun. Like it's Edward literally looks at an X-ray of her skull, and there are all these like indentations from all the time she's hit her head.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Bella.
You know, it's making a little more sense now. She might have
Yeah.
suffered some different head traumas.
Maybe this is why
Yeah.
Bella is the way she is from her
Yeah.
multiple head traumas.
She's doing, I mean, for that, she's doing pretty well, so I'll give her that.
yeah.
But yeah, it's making sense. It's coming together. Oh, wait, Sam, it's your turn there.
Okay, I'll pull one out. Oh, who is most likely to call another podcaster to gossip about boys?
You.
Yeah, probably.
I would say, though, Karissa reads a lot of romance.
I do.
She doesn't
I
use
do.
a phone as a phone.
That is true. I don't talk to people ever, so gossiping's not something I partake in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I do also read quite a few romances, and I do like to gossip about them. So, we also forgot to mention that I guess the falling down the stairs one was about Bella, and then
Yes.
this one is about Jessica,
Yes.
who often
That makes sense.
is very boy centered. I think Karissa.
Yes, I think it's my turn. Let's see. Who has the palest or coldest skin? Do I just give this to myself? Like,
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happened to Sam, so.
Yeah.
yeah, I already know it. I do run incredibly cold. My hands and my feet are always freezing. And then on top of that, I am like Casper. So,
As Bella might say, you're translucent.
yeah.
Bella might say.
I wrote that down in my notes. I was like, translucent is wild.
That is an absolutely wild description for somebody. Like, to just describe someone else as that.
Yeah.
It's so insulting.
I feel like that's a certain type of paleness, though, that like, I don't know, and it's not quite your skin tone, but I feel like I've seen people that look like their skin almost looks translucent because of the type of paleness they are.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe a little bit more like olive undertones, I guess. Definitely not the like pinks or reddish undertones that I have.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I do think it's interesting, and obviously this is more like movie than book, but in the movie when they have this conversation about how Edward is like very pale, when Bella is telling him this, she is also like equally as pale as he is. Like in the
Yes.
movie,
Right?
they're like the same pale.
Yeah. Why are we pretending as though
but
They're
like
the same.
everyone in the movie is kind of washed out. Like
Yes.
that's
That is, yeah.
because of the blue?
yes.
that is fair. Yeah.
My turn again?
Yes.
Who is most likely to referee a game of baseball instead of playing?
I could feel like that could be a lot of us.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
But does anyone understand the game well enough to referee?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think
fair.
about that.
Haven't you watched
When
quite a
I
bit of
was-
baseball?
When I was a kid, but that was a long time ago.
Okay, but that's significantly more experience than I have with baseball.
Yeah,
Honestly, that's fair.
I've watched baseball like a few times, but never very consistently at all.
Then, even though my experiences as a child, that's probably me.
All
Just
right.
because of the referee being able to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play or referee, but
I do know that the first time I went to a baseball game was with you, and you did explain what was going on.
So you might know
So
more
it
than
might-
you
yeah,
remember.
Yeah, maybe
That's
yeah.
fair.
It would come back.
that's fair.
Yeah, this was supposed to be more Esme coded of how she is kind of calling the shots of the game
Yeah.
instead of making sure people aren't cheating, I guess.
Yes,
That makes
that's
sense.
true.
If that's
of it
part
that
of the
way.
classification, it's probably me then anyway.
Yeah. You're tattletaling.
Yeah.
tattletale.
I mean, more like if a rule makes sense, then it better be followed.
You're just keeping people honest.
Yeah.
You're just keeping people honest. I get that. It definitely wouldn't be me. I feel like I would be more likely to have a little bit more of a like sleight of hand. If
You're like, that's
need
close
be.
enough.
That's probably fine.
Yeah.
It follows the spirit of the rule. Like it's okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to choose our next one. Who is most likely to think they could wrestle a bear? That's a great question.
None of us.
I don't think any of us exactly possess the confidence.
I'm really embarrassed to say that I feel like I can convince myself to do something. I am very confident in myself. So
Well, damn, Karissa. Maybe you should.
But you're not confident in that sort of confrontation.
would I not be?
One time, you got mad at someone in a parking lot, and you did something that made them mad, and then they started yelling at you, and you ran away.
After I had words with them for a while, and then we were just kind of going in circles, and then I decided it was a waste of time.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Okay. I remember I was terrified.
I was not.
So it's certainly not Allie. And yeah, it sounds like Karissa has the most bravery here. So she's going to take the
It
bear.
might be Karissa. I definitely, if I were maybe like taller or like bigger,
Yeah,
like maybe I
you
would.
just simply don't stand a chance.
Yes. But maybe if I were like Emmett sized, like maybe I would.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like the same level of confidence that I do like now, like maybe I would be like, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like just knowing, I feel like I know when to pick my battles.
Yeah. So this was an Emmett one, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
In case anyone was wondering, I am scared of bears. So
Are
yeah.
you?
Well, I mean, not like actively,
Well,
but
who
like
isn't,
if I
like-
saw a bear, I'd run. Which
Well,
maybe,
you definitely shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I was like,
you shouldn't run.
look, I'm gonna need someone else to be there because I'm not gonna remember. I'm gonna panic.
We'll just make sure Karissa is with you.
Yeah, I think my mind would immediately jump to, okay, so what I know about bears is this, and I know I should do this and this.
Yeah.
Is where my mind
It
would
would be
go.
a very like textbook response to what to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we just need to make sure Carly is not encountering the bear on her own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pull out our next one. Who is most likely to buy a family member a 1953 Chevrolet pickup truck? Or just any car?
I will advocate for myself that Bridget has always wanted a truck.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Maybe this is my shot. Maybe I can get her a truck.
Because of this question.
Yes. Thank you,
Because of
Twilight,
this
for
one.
giving me a truck.
I will say it's definitely not me nor Allie, I don't think. I don't think it's very fitting. I wouldn't buy anyone a car, I don't think.
Maybe it would be you, Carly. I feel like in general you're a pretty giving person.
Yeah. Normally it's me being like, hey, do you want to come with me to some location? But in this case, yeah, it could be a car. That's
Yeah.
fine.
My thought process behind this, so obviously, Charlie buys Bella a 1953 Chevrolet pickup truck in the book.
As we all remember,
So, as we
specifically.
all remember, specifically the 1953 Chevrolet pickup truck. But mostly just of like who would give someone like a more expensive gift.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like I could see that out of you, Carly.
Yeah, I
So
accept.
maybe, yeah, we'll give you that superlative. On a like side note of that, did anybody notice how like often Stephanie Meyer kind of talks about what cars they drive?
Yes.
Yes, she does. And I thought it was a little odd as well because I feel like most books that I read, it's just like, oh, there is a car.
Right.
Like, or maybe
Right.
a truck.
We don't need to know which one, though.
Yes.
Yeah. It's never really pointed out the year, make, and model of
Yes.
the car.
The lore behind that is, I don't remember, it's her brother or brother-in-law or somebody is really into cars, and like she asks like, hey, what car should this person drive? And like I think he maybe gave such a detailed answer that she felt like she had to include all of this.
Oh.
That's kind
That's
of
my
funny.
understanding.
It's like out of obligation, almost like, well, shit, I asked and they gave me so much.
so much information.
That's really funny.
It just feels like a weirdly specific detail to include in a book that it's almost like, well, why is that so darn specific?
Yes, yes. But even in my recent reread, I was like, wow, she really does mention year, make, model, like the whole thing.
Color, everything. Everything about the damn car. Like, why?
Yeah. Not me thinking it had to do with like, we have to explain people's classes through their car.
I mean, I think that's part of it, though.
There is a little bit of like a little classism.
Yeah. I do know, at least for the Cullens, their wealth is shown through their cars.
For sure.
Absolutely. That is part of it. And the point of that is that, like, they have a large amount of wealth because they've been alive for so long, right?
Yeah.
They have had the opportunity to gain enough wealth to have all of these expensive cars.
Yeah.
All that insider trading.
I was going to say generational wealth at its finest.
Yeah. It's just a different kind of generational wealth.
Yeah. It just never stopped building. It never passed hands.
Yep.
All right. We have one more.
Two more.
Oh, two more.
So-
Okay.
All right. So this one says, who is most likely to appear on the cover of a Sports Illustrated magazine? Oh boy. I mean, I have a personal opinion about who is the hottest.
This is getting complicated when your wife's in the room.
Yeah. I don't know if I can be objective.
I wouldn't want to.
That is true. You would not want to do it. Okay.
Who has the confidence here?
Yeah. Who has... You're a fairly confident person.
I guess I'm decently confident. I don't know if I'm confident enough to be on Sports Illustrated.
Yeah. That's quite a bit, but
That is a bit of confidence.
I think you have to do it because I don't want to.
both Allie and Carly are like, no, you do it. Okay.
I'll give it to you.
I'll take it. This one was inspired by Bella's thoughts about Rosalie. And how she describes Rosalie as being so beautiful, as if like she were somebody that you would see on the cover of a Sports Illustrated magazine.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
She is supposed to be very, very gorgeous.
Okay.
Do I take the last one?
The
Or
last
someone else want it?
Nah, you're the guest.
Who would most hate being a vampire?
Ooh, that's a great final one.
Yeah. And that's tough because, like, there's a lot of different aspects that I think someone could dislike about being a vampire, right? Like, someone may not like the fact that they can't go into the sun a lot, or the lack of food, or any number of things.
Or sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the pros to being a vampire?
I mean, I guess like with the sleep thing, like you don't necessarily need to sleep. And there have been moments in my life where I'm like, man, like how much more time would I have if I didn't need to sleep?
I have thought the exact same thing. I hate that I have to sleep. It kind of sucks.
So I don't know. Like I feel like that's something I might enjoy about being a vampire. Not that I
Yeah.
think I would like it, but
Because I imagine you also wouldn't feel tired if you don't need to sleep.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that is kind of a pro. And honestly, I think it's kind of crazy that we have to eat so much. So I also wouldn't
Yeah.
mind that.
well, you do have to
You
eat.
You have to
quote
eat.
unquote.
Yes. But
It
at
would
least it's
just
not-
be torturous for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true. You'd have to literally kill at least things. Like, even if you're
Yeah.
not going to kill people, you're still going to have to kill something.
Yeah, that seems like the suckiest part.
Yeah.
I like the not having to be in the sun bit, because the sun is really bothersome.
But it wouldn't be bothersome if you were a vampire.
Yeah.
So that's a pro. You wouldn't. So do you feel like overall you would be like your life wouldn't be that different if you were a vampire? Other than killing things, because that's a pretty big shift.
Yeah.
That's going to be. None of us hunt or something, so.
Honestly, yeah, I think that would be the biggest difference.
So basically, you're just eliminated from this.
Okay, yeah. So
Okay.
we're eliminating
Okay.
Carissa from
Chris
this.
is out. I was going to say, I do like the sun. I don't think
I also like the sun.
I could not live somewhere that it rains so much.
yeah.
That would be sad for me.
I love the
I
rain.
would like to be a vampire, so I don't think this applies to me. Like, mortality terrifies me.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't think it's me either, but I also don't feel like it's anybody.
I think I have the opposite thought. I think immortality kind of terrifies me. And I think it's from the perspective of like living for more than 100 years. You know? Like I feel like there needs to be an end. And then if I'm alive for like 500, 600 years, I don't have any more like friends from my original life. Like times have changed so much, probably. So I feel like, unfortunately, I'm worried that if I were a vampire, I would run into the whole like Carlisle situation of just being so lonely that I might resort to having to turn somebody just so I have a companion.
Yeah, I don't view that as a bad thing, though.
Oh, okay.
I don't. But I feel like based on your response, Sam, I'm going to hand this to you.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I think it's the most fitting.
Yeah, because I was about to say I also fear mortality, so I think in that way we are very different.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Yeah, everybody got a little couple of superlatives. I feel like I got so many.
Oh yeah, how many did you get? I got 2.
I got 4.
I got 2.
I got 2 as well.
Oh,
yeah, okay. Congratulations, you are the most Twilight-y.
I am the most Twilight character.
Yeah,
Well, it's nice to know that this is what you guys think of me.
that you should be on Sports Illustrated
And that I would hate being a vampire.
I mean, to be fair, you did say things that made us give it to you.
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. They're kind of...
They were very logically given out. Yeah, I feel like we did talk about how it's difficult now, especially as an adult, to like relate ourselves to the characters in Twilight, even like book/movie wise. Did you have any thoughts as somebody who, yes, recently read the book, but you've kind of been a little bit indoctrinated into the world from watching the movies, right?
Yes. And granted, I will say I haven't watched the movie since it probably came out, I don't think. But I would say that the book versions of these characters did feel more relatable to me than the movie versions. But with that, I also felt like, in general, I was surprised by how much the movie differed, from what I remember, from the book and what I experienced. So I was kind of curious from you guys, how did you feel as people who, you know, read the book when it came out and then saw the movie after that? Like, did you feel like it was a faithful adaptation, or did you guys have thoughts, / did the fandom have thoughts about that when it happened?
Yeah, so I think we have maybe a couple different thoughts on this, right? Personally, I think there are only really a couple of differences that really stand out to me. And one is how little of Bella's human friends we actually see in the movie in comparison to the books, right? But I think that the vibes are the same, because in the books, she feels really disconnected from people.
Yeah.
And also in the movie, she also feels really disconnected from people. But just the way it's presented is different, since we don't have the ability to see inside of her head when it comes to the movie, right? And the second thing that I think is very, very different is Edward himself. I feel like in the movie, he is so much more dramatic and so much more emo. And in the books, at times he's a bit sassy. He's a bit playful. He feels very fae-like and less vampire-like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and he's cracking jokes all the time in the book. You don't see that in the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
He's definitely a lot more tortured in the movie, it feels like. You know,
Yeah.
he has that personality to him in the movie.
Yeah, the one scene in particular that stood out to me as significantly different was the conversations around Edward being a vampire. I remembered it as them being in the woods and, you know, he's like, say it, blah, blah, blah. And like, again, it is very intense and very emo and feels really heightened. But in the book, it's so much more casual.
Yes.
They're just in the car, and it's all like, so hypothetically, if I were a vampire, like, this is what I would be like. And yeah, again, like, it does come off more playful. And so I was surprised by that. And to the fact that, like, no spider monkey mention also.
It is interesting that now that you mention it, I do remember, like, in my reread of the book recently, thinking like, oh, this is definitely not as intense as it was in the movie when they're talking about it, because you're right, like Edward is like, well, hypothetically, if I were a vampire, versus this like big reveal of them talking about him being a vampire in the movies.
Now, you also asked about like fandom reaction. I know you know a little bit more about that, Allie.
Yes, I saw the first movie in theaters, I think, like 3 times. And the first one was release day, and people were losing their minds. Like, it was when Robert Pattinson walked into the room, like, on screen, everyone lost it. Like, it was just screaming and, like, super excited, like,
That's
reactions.
crazy.
Yeah, and it was like that with, I think, like, all the movies. Like, I know in some of the later movies, they, like, give more time between when it has the name of the movie on the screen before something actually happens. They put in space, because with the early movies, it was a problem because fans would be screaming and miss the beginning of the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. To be honest, I didn't know that people reacted that way in movies until, like, Avengers movies were really building up.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was just, like, I remember it all being positive reactions and just people genuinely liking it. Now, I wasn't really chronically online in a way where I would, like, really be able to see other people's reactions or, like, adult reactions. But, like, from my experience, everyone loved it. And it wasn't really considered cringe until, like, way after it was released.
So as far as people's reactions, like, no one seemed to have a fit over, like, how certain things were represented or, like, things changed from the book to the movie.
No, I remember thinking it was a little odd, like, the focus on the added biology field trip. Like, that, I think, was just a little odd because it wasn't even in the book, but then they took stuff out, like the blood typing chapter.
Oh.
Do other fans or you yourself have anything else that you think is really different between the two?
I don't really agree with this, but a lot of people think that they're 100% different media. Like, the book is so different from the movie that it's almost like its own thing. I don't agree.
Yeah, I think the vibes match up.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that the movie at least retains most of the book. I think the major difference to me is Edward himself.
Yeah, but I feel like aside from that, for the most part, the, like what you were saying, the atmosphere is kind of the same. I get the same feeling.
Yeah, but I think there might have been a lot of criticism over Kristen Stewart's portrayal of Bella. Like, maybe it was inaccurate. I don't really agree. I think it's just we're not seeing in her head, we're seeing her actions.
Yeah.
I also disagree. I think that Bella is a rather awkward individual, and I think that Kristen Stewart comes across as very awkward. I think it's a little bit more dramatized than in the book, but that doesn't mean that it's inaccurate.
Yeah, I do think that the Bella in the book does have a little bit more. Well, and again, I feel like I could have a different opinion if I just saw the movie again. I'm really reaching back. But in my mind, I do feel like the book version did have a little bit more, like, humor to her and playfulness. But I don't necessarily know that that's even exactly Kristen Stewart's fault, or if, like, she wasn't given that option in the script and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's a script issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do remember there being criticism of Kristen Stewart's portrayal of Bella and how it was like, oh, why does she always, like, shake her head, or why is she always, like, awkward on screen? But then you read the book, and that's kind of like a Bella personality trait of her being, like, clumsy and awkward. Really, I mean, if it comes out that way with Kristen Stewart on the screen, she's doing a pretty good job of, like, portraying who Bella is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's also interesting how some quotes or events happened differently in the book than how they happened in the movie, which I think we kind of touched on a little bit, but segue into a new sort of fun little game that we have, New Bowl.
New Bowl.
Carly, do you want to introduce our new game?
Yes, funny you should say that, Sam, because now that we've done introductions, I think it's time to put our Twilight knowledge to the test. So, in our bowl, we have various character quotes from either the book or the movie, or both, and we're going to see who can remember which. So really, we're putting the Twilight experts to the test.
Yes.
We'll see.
The Twilight knowledge come to life here.
Yeah.
Allie is going to do a lot better than me, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of different quotes from the movie, from the book, or sometimes they were seen in both the movie and the book, and they're from different characters. So we just kind of wanted to test your knowledge and see what you remember, like, from what it seems like this character might say, and if that translated into the movie or if it didn't.
Okay. All right.
All right, Carly, you want to pick one out first?
Yes. Our first one is, Edward reminded me that you have to eat a lot more frequently than we do.
That is from the book, and it's Alice saying it.
Yes, that's correct.
Wow. I felt like that was kind of a hard one to start off with.
I know.
Yeah. I was like, who? What?
I was like, this is probably as hard as it gets, so yeah.
So, well, that's a good sign.
So you guys are gonna be fine. All right, do you want to
Did you have to think about that at all, Allie, or were you just like, no, I know this?
I went to say that I had to think about it, but no. But I don't know. Like, I'm not typical of this. Like,
Do you remember, okay, further quizzing, do you remember what scene it was?
yeah, it's near the end, and they're in the hotel in Arizona.
Yeah.
Wow. A true Twilight
Wow.
expert in our midst.
Yeah.
Okay, our next quote. My mother is part albino.
Bella says it, and it's only in the book.
It's a joke that she makes.
Yes.
Yeah, at school when I think, the human people are like, why are you so pale? Yeah.
Yeah.
No one else understands the joke.
Yeah. And they're like, but you're from Arizona. Yeah. I do think in the book, in the movie, they make a similar joke, or at least they make a joke on the fact that she should be Tanner from Arizona, but I don't think that's the same punchline.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
In the movie, she says, well, maybe that's why they kicked me out. That's what it is. That's how they changed it.
Oh, yes. This one is two people, so do you want to say the first part and then I'll be the other character?
But you're not stronger than the others.
I'm strong enough to kill you.
It's James and Edward.
Do you remember, is this book or movie?
Movie. Or both.
It's movie.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
I was thinking movie, but then I was doubting myself. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah, we'll count it. We'll count it.
Yes.
So far, a perfect score.
So far, a perfect score. Yes, it was from the movie when they're in the ballet studio and Edward gets there first. And he's like fighting James off. Like he like throws her off of Bella and then like James like pushes him away. And he's talking about how Edward got there first because he's faster than the others, but he's not stronger than them. And then Edward says, but I'm strong enough to kill you. Yeah, and it is from the movie, and they don't talk about it in the book. So it's just movie, which is something that I like only remembered from my reread because we're getting it from Bella's perspective. So we don't get any of the like conversation or any of like the third person perspective that we get from the movie because it's all just Bella and then she gets bit and she's in pain and then she just wakes up in the hospital.
Yeah, she's passed out. Here, do you want to read? Yeah, this next one.
What if I'm not the hero? What if I'm the bad guy?
Okay.
Well, that's Edward, right?
Yeah, in the movie.
This
Isn't it
Is it
both?
not? Is it both?
It is
Sticky
both.
movie. Okay, so I totally got that wrong.
I remember it from the book.
I don't remember it from the book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that one actually, it's literally like one word different. I think in the book he says, "What if I'm a bad guy?" And then in the movie he says, "the bad guy."
I just think of like the video edits with "Bad Guy" by Billie Eilish.
Oh yes.
Yes, yeah, I think you're right. I think in the book he says that's all superhero things. Like, what if I'm not the superhero? What if I'm a bad guy?
Oh yes, that too. Yeah.
That's the book.
Yeah,
I think.
that is the book.
Superhero. Because she's guessing that he's like Peter Parker or something.
Yes, somewhat similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in both.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, this is another two-person quote. So,
Okay. How old are you?
17.
And how long have you been 17?
A while.
That is the movie.
Edward and Bella.
Yeah.
Specifically to the movie.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually also in the book.
Really?
But it is in a different because in the movie they do this, in the forest.
It's like phrased a little bit differently, isn't it?
It's surprisingly, it's exactly the same.
Really?
But the
Exactly the
context
same.
definitely feels different because it's when they're in the car and it's a lot more casual vibes.
I recall this. In the book, it feels a lot more like kind of funny or playful.
Right, exactly.
Versus in the movie, it's very tense
Yeah.
and dramatic.
So like,
Even
it
if
feels
it
like
is
a
the
joke.
same word, it feels different.
Yeah.
That is exactly how it is in the book. It's definitely a lot funnier because they're just in the car. It's very casual. And there's like the description that Stephanie Meyer puts in the book while they're having this conversation. She's just asking, like, oh, how old are you? And he's like 17. And then he like smiles. Like he like cracks a smile when he says, oh, I've been 17 for a while. Like he like, they're joking around. Versus in the movie when they're in the forest, it's very like, how long have you been 17?
A while.
And I listen to the audiobooks a lot, so like I think in the audiobooks they deliver it so differently too that I don't even really recognize it as the same words.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's so fair.
Oh, this is another
Another two-parter. Okay. Are you going to tell me how you stopped the van?
Yeah, I had an adrenaline rush. It's very common. You can Google it.
That's specific to the movie.
Yeah,
with Bella
that's in
and
the
Edward,
movie.
Yeah, that one
The
is
Google
specific.
thing, is
Yeah.
not in the Bible.
You can Google it.
I thought that was a really good, though. I was
Yeah.
like, this is our one moment to see that he can be playful. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
But even the way he delivers that in the movie, it still feels a little bit like,
It still feels heavy.
yeah.
He always feels heavy throughout the whole movie.
Throughout the whole movie, yeah, he does feel very heavy.
That's so funny. And yeah, I don't remember it from the movie, so just reading it, I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's a good quote.
I think as we're like talking about it and even playing this game, there is a lot of realization of how like the way you deliver something can affect the
It
like,
really
outcome.
changes it. Like how it feels, at least.
Okay, this is just a one-person one. You do smell nice. I never noticed before.
Alice says it. I believe in both.
So
Not, is it just the movie?
So technically that one is from the book, but it's very close to what she says in the movie, which is she goes, "You do smell good."
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just like a few
Yeah,
more
I'm
words.
having the hardest time to stay. I mean, that's the purpose of the game. But, like,
It's supposed to be difficult, Allie.
That one in particular, though, is like, it feels a little unfair because it's like, it's the
so
same
close.
sentiment.
yeah.
Yes. Also, you're still killing it. Like, like I feel like the lag time from you answering the question is so small. I would have had to think about this.
Yes,
way longer.
we won't be editing out any silence because there won't be any.
She's just like, okay, 3 seconds. I got this.
Yeah, I know it.
All right, this one's another two-person one. Whoops.
Everyone's going to the beach. Come.
Which beach?
La Push.
It's just a little crowded.
I mean, this is Bella and Edward, but I'm trying to remember specifically. Because I know they have this discussion in both, but like...
They do, but it's worded differently between the book and the movie. She does invite him, I think.
You're on the right track. It is different. It is not both,
yeah.
I would say.
Can you read it again?
Yes.
Everybody's going to the beach. Come.
Which beach?
La Push.
It's just a little crowded.
He says, I don't know in the movie. And there's no I don't know there, so I think it's the book.
Oh, maybe. We just have a ... in between. The answer, obviously it is Bella and Edward, but it's from the movie.
Okay.
It is from the movie. I don't think they say, Edward doesn't give an excuse, right, in the book?
I don't think he really does. It's certainly not that excuse.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like he blows off the request rather than
Yeah.
really giving an answer.
He kind of just is like,
Yeah.
He doesn't really say anything about it. And then in the movie, he kind of pauses and he's like, oh, it's just a little crowded.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it switches to like a scene where they're at the beach and there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, Sam really advocated for that one. She's
That
like,
one
it's
was
You know what's
tough.
funny? I didn't get that joke until like just a few years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do somehow remember that being like, I think from like when I was younger, from like my first read and my first watch of the whole Twilight thing. I think I like got it pretty immediately, and I was like, "That's so funny!" Like,
Yeah.
All right, do you want to read this next one?
ooh, this one's a good one. As if you could outrun me. As if you could fight me off.
That's
That's
Edward, I think, just in the movie. Is it not? I'm so
It
bad at this part.
is in the movie. I'm trying to think if it's in the book.
I don't think it's phrased the same way, but I don't know. This is hard.
It is hard. I mean, there is a scene. This scene does exist in the book in which he is trying to scare her.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what are the words that he says?
Yeah.
Let's go with just movie, but we're probably wrong.
Yeah.
It is both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is both.
I actually do have to say, this was one of the parts that I was the most like, what is happening here? Because, like, she barely moves a little too close to him. He zooms away.
Yeah.
And then he starts doing the whole thing of like, as if you could outrun me.
Yeah.
As if you could. And then he comes back up to her and is like, don't be scared.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of
It
me.
is the most out of left field. It's very weird and very sudden.
Yeah.
I do somehow feel like, though, it is the most, like, almost, like, similar from book to movie,
Yes.
with Edward trying to be, like, very tortured and, like, scary. Like, this is the only, or maybe even just, like, one of the few times in the books where he, like, is trying to be, like, scarier, whereas in the movie, he's, like, always trying to be very, like, scary and heavy. And so that translated very, like, similarly, I guess, between book and
Yeah.
movie.
I agree that this scene in the book definitely matches up the most to movie Edward, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember in my reread, because there are so many social media like memes and TikToks of like people reenacting the scene of like throwing a stick and being like, as if you could fight me off. And I remember like hearing it as I'm like driving in the car and being like, oh my gosh, this is the scene of where he's like running around and he's like, as if you could outrun me, and like screaming at her.
I do know that when I reread it as well, I could like see the movie scene in my head. I was like, oh yeah.
I remember this.
All right. This is our last quote.
This is a good last quote.
This is the skin of a killer, Bella.
That's Edward and that's the movie.
Yep.
Yes, that is just the movie.
It's only the movie. I was looking out for that quote. And I'm like,
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of those things that it's so popular in like media and in the fandom and the community that we probably were really like looking forward to hearing.
yeah,
it
there were
or
certain
reading
things
it.
like that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's only movie.
There's a couple of quotes that are from the movie that are so iconic that it's like, oh gosh, those are so good, but it's not in the book.
Yeah.
And that's one of them, as well as Bella, where the hell have you been, Loca?
Been Loca, yeah.
Dude, I literally was like, I guess it's in the next book. They wouldn't leave that out.
No.
No, not. That's a movie specific quote.
So upsetting. With that, I did want to build on what you were saying, because this was your first reread since like the first time, or at least since you were a lot younger reading it. And same thing with Karissa. So
Yes.
how did you guys feel? Do you have any new thoughts or anything you noticed having read this for the first time in so long?
Yeah, so I think one of the very first things that I noticed was that there is so much more foreshadowing than I realized in the book. That, just from a writing perspective, it stood out to me a lot. And then Edward as a romantic option for Bella, I was not very pleased with him in general. And I think another thing that really, really stood out to me is people who kept underestimating Bella all the time for some reason. That seemed to be like a theme throughout the whole book.
Yes, I agree.
People just kept like underestimating her intelligence and her ability to do things, and this was including Edward himself.
Yes.
Like that happened over and over and over. which was frustrating to read.
Yeah, honestly, that was a major theme that I picked up on as well. And there was even a specific point where I think that Edward says something about just how like incapable she is of keeping herself alive. And I was like, I do not like that we're setting this tone on top of the fact that like we have this romance going on. It just feels like, how is she supposed to sort of grow up and like feel like an independent person and not feel like she relies on you when you are saying this stuff to her? Like, she is so going to be influenced by this.
Yeah, I mean, like, in particular, I could think of this one scene that made me so irritated. And it's in, I believe, biology class. And it was not one, not two, but three separate people all just doubted her and if she knew things. And I was like, why is everyone thinking like this?
Yeah.
And did you guys notice the number of times other people pick Bella up? Literally pick her up.
Yes.
We have another episode where we talk about the number of times, the number of like how much she weighs is dropped and how not okay that was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, reading it, I was like, oh, this probably wasn't good for like an impressionable young mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam, did you have any other thoughts as you were rereading?
I do remember primarily not remembering things. Like, I read it for the first time. How old was I? 12-ish is when I read it for the first time. And I remember reading it because the movie had come out. And so, because it had been so long since the first time that I read it, this was only my second time reading it ever. Because it had been so long, there were certain things that I didn't remember, not necessarily story-wise, but more so like how things were written or how things were portrayed, which we kind of talked about a little bit in the differences between the book and the movie. So a lot of the things I remember, like Edward being a lot more tense and heavy in the movie, it was kind of a surprise to me because I didn't remember how like light he could be in the book and how more comedic he was in the book. So that was surprising to me, and I think that was the primary thing that I noticed with this last reread.
So you were a Team Edward person. How did you kind of feel also as you were rereading it? Like, you were like, I can see where I was, or like how I got to where I was, or were you like, I am heavy, no longer Team Edward?
I definitely think I could see how I got to where I was, but a lot of it was also, you know, like I mentioned, a lot of why I got into it was because of the hype that was surrounding it. So it's also hard to remember if maybe I was just Team Edward because like other people were Team Edward, or like if I just felt like that made the most sense for like the trajectory of the books and the movies, that like, oh, I guess it makes sense that she would be with Edward, like that kind of aligns. They're almost like fated in a way, versus now really just wanting to be more Team Bella, if that were like a possibility, if Bella maybe had a better head on her shoulders.
Yeah. Did you guys want to talk about which team you guys feel like you are on / were on maybe growing up?
Yeah, so for me, I was Team Jacob for most of the time. Obviously, when I read the first book prior to reading the other books, you don't really see a lot of Jacob.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously at that point, anyone, I guess, would be Team Edward unless you just didn't like Edward at all.
Yeah.
But after reading all of the books that were out at the time, which Breaking Dawn wasn't out yet, I was Team Jacob. That has since changed. I also would like to just be Team Bella if possible.
Yes. Yeah.
So when I was reading originally, I was Team Edward, but not the kind of Team Edward that hated Jacob, because that was a big thing. It was very polarizing.
That
Yeah.
was a big thing.
And I didn't really understand it because I didn't dislike Jacob. I just was Team Edward, but it wasn't like this big thing to me. I didn't like, it wasn't one or the other for me. But then as an adult, if I have to pick, I'm Team Jacob. But again, like, she doesn't need either one of these people.
Oh, for sure, no. Yeah, yeah.
See, I also remember it being quite polarizing, and I did dislike Edward a lot, primarily because I found him to be very, very creepy. And you know what? That turned out to be true with the publication of Midnight Sun. Yeah, I think I am right for thinking that he's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I do agree with you, though, Allie, that I don't think I was Team Edward because I didn't like Jacob. It just kind of made sense to me, I think, with, like, the way the book was going, that, like, oh, like, Team Edward. Like, it seems like she's going to pick him anyway, so I might as well just be Team Edward.
Yeah, like, as a 15-year-old, like, who had never been in a relationship before, I didn't see how problematic some things were.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did your, Allie, like, experience with Twilight go? Did you, like, have you always been in the fandom? Like, have you reread it multiple times?
So, yeah. I first read it in 2007, about over a year before the first movie came out and before Breaking Dawn came out, like over a year prior. And I was pretty much super into it from the time I read the first book. It did take me a little bit to, like, read book 2, I think, because that was the same summer that the 7th Harry Potter book came out.
It was a big year.
Yeah. But, yeah, and I've basically been in the fandom since, but I did have some friends in college that were kind of awful and made me feel like I should just not like Twilight anymore. And I took that a little too far. And it was a few years before I got back into the fandom. And I reread the books once every few months and watch the movie at least 3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right now is when I should point out that I'm autistic and it's my special interest.
And you are not
Yeah.
alone.
Yes.
It's gotten to the point where Allie has, like, Pavloved herself with the first movie, where she starts getting really sleepy and falling asleep at one particular part of the movie because she watches it when she goes to sleep.
What?
Yeah, I tried to take her to the Twilight Orchestra performance, and she started nodding off in the middle of the theater.
Part?
Yeah. It's about halfway through the movie. I always fall asleep and we had to leave.
That is so funny.
Wow.
On one hand, what a handy little trick.
If you can't sleep, you can
Yeah.
No need for melatonin.
Yeah.
No, like, her body is like, oh, I recognize this. Okay, let's get that melatonin going.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of annoying though.
Yeah. I also wanted to say that I texted my sister because she was also really into Twilight when we were younger. And I asked her which team she was, and she said Edward. And I asked, did you still like Jacob, though? And she said, oh, yeah, for sure. So it sounds like she was pretty similar to you, Allie, where it's like, I was Team Edward, but I definitely didn't hate Jacob.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was just our school, too, because I don't really remember it being a big thing of, like, you're Team Edward, I'm Team Jacob, we hate each other. But I've heard from other people, like, online that had an experience where that was happening at their school.
Yeah.
Taylor and I were literally in the same grade at the same school.
I had friends who had different opinions from me, but that didn't cause significant issues or anything. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
I don't think so with mine either, but I definitely can believe that it was in, like, other places or with other groups.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was online at the time, and I feel like I saw things online that were very strong opinions.
Well, I know right now we don't have any plans specifically in the books to read New Moon. That's the next one? Which one's the next one? Okay.
The next one. But, I mean, we could see if maybe we'll get Carly to read the rest of the series and maybe do another collaboration episode.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I want to read the next book. But as of right now, I don't know where I stand on the whole team side of things. Honestly, right now I feel a little primed to be Team Jacob, but obviously we'll have to wait and see how I actually feel once I get there.
Yeah, maybe you guys can let Carly know in the comments or on our social media if you want her to read the rest of the books, and we can post her reactions.
Yes. I definitely think we should revisit this, whether it's through an official, like, book club episode or if we just, like, catch up on my thoughts on it. I would love to talk about it whenever I get to it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on the pod today. We had so much fun talking all things Twilight with you.
Yes, thank you so much to Allie and Karissa from Exploring the Meadow podcast for joining us today. And don't forget to give them a follow on Instagram. Is that the main place they can follow you?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And then obviously searching for them on wherever you get podcasts, but especially Spotify.
And Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
All right, well, thanks for listening to the latest episode of our hit podcast, Read Receipts with Carly and Sam. And Carly, our last episode of the year.
I know, RIP. Just like how it was almost RIP to Bella. But we will be back and better than ever before in the new year. So stay tuned. If you want to check out our social media to see kind of what we have coming up in the new year, you can follow us at the Read Receipts Pod on Instagram and all that. But yeah, it won't be till 2026 before you hear from us again.
Well, not necessarily before you hear from us again,
But like here in a podcast form.
Yes, yeah, this will be our last episode of the year. We are taking a little break for the holiday season, but we will see you back and better than ever before in the new year. All of the content that you hear in this podcast is curated, recorded, and edited by us truly, with special thanks to the authors of the books that we cover and Pixabay for the music that we play. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you like to listen. For more of our content in between shows, you can find us at the Read Receipts Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And like Carly mentioned, we'll be trying to post things about when we'll be coming back in the new year and kind of the new books that we'll be bringing into the new year on our social media. So make sure to give us a follow on there. Until our next read.
Bye.
Bye.